Well, my friends, today is a very cold, dingy, rainy day here in Central Florida. We don't get a lot of them. This is called the Sunshine State. And we get an average about 267 days of sunshine a year. In some places, you get about 30 days more than that. And I'd say Lakeland is probably one of them, but not today. Today is very dark, very dingy, very cold, and rainy. And I've got to work in it all day long. Now, there's a good chance that this is going to skew my perception of things. It might change my opinion about any number of given things. You know, what I'm trying to say is that on bright, sunny days, things look a lot better, don't they? But it could ultimately change the direction that I decide to move in on any number of those given things. Isn't it funny how when you're at a low point in your life, it could be the result of a relationship that has severed. Maybe you cared for somebody that didn't care about you as much, and you're heartbroken now. Perhaps you got a diagnosis that scares you, or you lost your job, or maybe the weather was just really bad that day, you know? And everything begins to look differently, doesn't it? The colors are different. The hue has changed. Food even tastes different, doesn't it? Now, it's all temporary. You and I know that. But nevertheless, things do change. And I guess the overarching point here is that you have to remember that they are temporary. But for some people, they bring down the axe quite swiftly and don't change their mind about any number of things. Here's an illustration to make my point. Back in 1956, Dwight D. Eisenhower, he was the president-elect, and he said something that really sparked an international debate. It's kind of funny. He said something about pizza, of all things. He had some pizza from New York, made by Italian Americans, obviously, of course, right? That's what people know pizza from New York for. And he said about it, he says, this pizza tastes better than the Neapolitan pizza I had back in 1943. And boy, that really sparked a debate. That really chapped some hides. Now, the Italians, they take this very seriously. They said, listen, you must have had some of that war pizza with the abbreviated ingredients. That must be why you feel the way you did. It must be why it tasted different to you, or maybe didn't taste as good as what you're having now, because we all know that the pizza made by the Italians over there is far better. Well, so an Admiral Mick Carney decided he'd send 11 of his teams to go out and try some Neapolitan pizza. And then him and 6 of the top brass from leading nations sat down at the Excelsior Hotel and had pizza made from over here. And he gave his final consensus on radio to Italian Americans, and he said, I am a partisan of the Neapolitan pizza, but this discrepancy of point of view with Ike will not put any dent into the Atlantic defense line of Southern Europe. So he disagreed with Ike about this. And he took a different side. So, there's different opinions, but, really, Ike probably didn't really care about that much. It's just that everybody takes people of his stature or his position quite seriously. And they get all fussy about it, And, but bringing it back down to where we live, we may not be experiencing war, but like I said before, you might be experiencing other low points in your life. And you've said things, you've made decisions, and you've decided that you don't like certain people during times like that. And a lot of times it came down for no other reason than that the The weather was bad outside. It's cold. It's raining. You just weren't in a good mood at the time. Perhaps you were going through a bad breakup. Perhaps you just heard bad news about your health, or you lost your job. And during those times, everything looked differently. You brought down the axe on it could be anything from as small as your opinion of something new you tried to eat or drink, or someone you met, or a store you shopped in, or a place that you went and you say, I didn't like that place. I didn't like going here, going there. I didn't like those people. Well, in truth, you probably don't really have a good understanding or a good assessment of what you're talking about because you were in a valley at the time. This is the thing to remember. When you are in your low points, so you know when you are. You know when you're walking through a valley, right? You know when you're in the shadows. You know when you are. Just keep in mind that that's not the best time to make sweeping decisions and judgments about things, about people, about places, about directions that you want to go. That's not the time to be doing that. That's the time to just kind of, marinate in your own sadness, That sounds horrible. That sounds like terrible advice, doesn't it? But what I'm saying is kind of separate yourself, work through those emotions, but don't make sweeping decisions about everything else because you could be wrong. You might find out later that you liked this person or that thing or this place that you went to back here, but you didn't try it again for a long time because, well, you made a judgment call and it wasn't necessarily right. Now you've missed out. So be careful. Be careful about saying things, about writing things off, because I'm talking about from the smallest things to the biggest things. Because on bright sunny days, things are going to look vastly different. But you might be missing out on some of those days because you haven't revisited any of the things you wrote off before. Maybe that's a good thing to remember. From time to time, it's okay to revisit things that you didn't think you liked before and try them again. It could be a pizza. It could be a particular kind of wine. It could be this place that you went to. I mean, just recently, my family and I went to St. Augustine, which is something we like to do about once a year during the Nights of Lights. And I made a video. I hope you've seen it. I'll post it at the end of this video so you can just click onto it. But I think it was a couple of years ago that we went, and it was so crowded. We didn't have a hotel room. We just showed up. We couldn't find a parking space to save our lives. We had to park miles away, get a bus in, and then it just rained the entire time. I was miserable. I hated it. And I said, I don't think I want to go back to St. Augustine for a while. I don't think I want to. It just really, really ruined it for me. And I said, I'm not doing it anymore. My wife was like, no, I want to go back. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I said, how'd you enjoy the no parking? How'd you enjoy people packed to the rafters in raining, cold rain? How'd you enjoy that? But she did. I didn't. But I gave in. We went this year, and I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making that video. I hope you watch it. So keep that in mind. It was just bad weather. It was just bad news. It was just, just the way I felt at the time. And that's not the best time to be choosing our direction for anything. So keep that in mind, guys. I hope that's helped. I hope it's meant something to you. If it has, hit the like button. If you found value to it, hit the like button. Share this with somebody else. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell. I have a lot of other videos like this. I hope you have a great day. Keep your chin up, and just ride out the storm. That's all you can do sometimes. All right, guys, I've said enough. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed my time with you. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Be wise.